In today's video, we will talk about how habits really work, or rather, how they are built. The goal is to prepare us to develop great new habits, and therefore, it is important to understand the system behind it. Psychology shows us that all habits follow a certain pattern. There are many models that explain that, but in this video, I will use my favorite model, the habit loop. Charles Duhigg introduced this model in his book, The Power of Habit. The habit loop consists of 3 steps. The first step is the trigger. The trigger can be many things. It can be an object, a sound, a smell, the time of day, or even an emotion. The trigger tells your brain that it's time to start the habit. This is where the second step of the habit loop comes in. The second stage is called routine. This is the actual habit, the behavior you perform. For example, if you have a habit of eating too much junk food, the routine is eating chips or candy. The third and final step is the reward. The reward can look different and varies from person to person. It can be made up of different things. For example, if you eat junk food, the reward can be the feeling of happiness from the taste or the satisfaction of your craving. The reason the habit loop is called a loop is related to the reward. If the reward is good enough, your brain says, hey, whenever this trigger comes and we do this routine, we get a great reward. Your brain remembers that for next time. When the same trigger comes up again, your brain thinks, oh, I know that one. If we do the same routine as last time, we'll get that great reward again. And with each repeated reward, that loop gets stronger until you get to the point where you don't have to think about it. You just do it. Once you reach that point where you do the routine automatically, a habit is formed, and that's the habit loop. Now you may be asking yourself, that's all well and good, but how can I use this to change my own habits? This is an important question because it allows you to identify and understand the trigger, routine, and reward of your current habits. It's really important to figure out the triggers for your addiction because they happen all the time. When we identify these triggers, we can use them to create better habits. We can train our brain to associate these triggers with positive things like exercise or meditation. This way, we gradually replace the bad habits with good ones. Recognizing the rewards behind your addiction is just as crucial. The reward is the engine that drives you. Imagine using eating sweets to relieve stress. After a stressful day at work or an unpleasant encounter, you reach for a bar of chocolate to calm yourself down. In such moments, we need to find a healthier way to deal with stress. One option could be to exercise to relieve stress. Keep in mind that habits can't really be erased. The triggers and rewards often stay the same, but the routine can be changed. Replace, not delete. That's the idea. Now I want you to take action. Grab a pen and paper and write down the habit loop for your addiction. The routine, or bad habit, is usually obvious, but the triggers can be many and varied. Think of as many as you can and write them down. I remember the triggers I wrote down when I was trying to overcome my own sugar addiction. They were moments when I was stressed, wanted to reward myself, or when candy was within reach. Identifying rewards can be tricky too. Yes, addictive habits often lead to a dopamine spike, but we need to dig deeper and figure out the main rewards we are looking for. For example, in his book, The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg took a closer look at his bad habit of eating cookies every day. At first glance, you might think that the reward is probably the sugar rush or satisfying hunger. But Duhigg soon discovered that it was actually the reward of socializing because he got up from his desk, went to the cafeteria, bought the cookies, and talked to his colleagues. He discovered this by noticing that just eating the cookie was not enough to satisfy him. He always wanted more. We need to look at our own addictions with this attention to detail. A bad habit like online shopping addiction could offer you a sense of anticipation because order confirmations and package announcements are constantly popping up in your brain. Another reward could be that it helps you relax because it turns you off. It could also be something that relieves stress, or maybe it makes you feel like you've accomplished something. There are a lot of possibilities, and the only way to really figure out what the rewards are is to analyze your own life. If you're someone who doesn't feel like shopping online after a nice day out with friends, then the reward for your addiction could be that it satisfies your social needs. If you're spending a relaxing evening in the sauna after a stressful day at work and don't feel like buying new things online, your reward for your online shopping addiction could be that it relieves stress. So it's really up to you to think this part through carefully and hypothesize about what the rewards for your addiction might be. To do this, I recommend you write down your discoveries on a piece of paper. You probably won't finish this listing in one sitting. You'll probably come across some triggers over the course of the next week or so and gain insight into the rewards. Make sure you add these to your listing, as they will play an extremely important role in your journey. In summary, it is crucial to recognize the triggers and rewards of your addiction in order to pave the way to overcoming your habit. You have now gained an important insight that will help you better understand your habits. Remember, habits can't just be erased, but they can be replaced with better routines. When you begin to understand the triggers and rewards, you can purposefully incorporate positive habits into your life that will help you in the long run. This process takes time and patience. Don't be too hard on yourself if you experience setbacks from time to time. Changing habits is a journey, and every journey starts with the first step. And to better understand the power of habits and how to leverage positive change in your life, feel free to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. Together, we can change our habits and live a fulfilling life. See you next time.